So thank you to you all for coming. It's been so lovely to see so many faces, and it's been such a really nice evening so far. So there is more to come. But yeah, I wanted, my sister Miranda is going to say a few words, but before she does, I wanted to mention that my mum and dad's dear friend Chris, could you make yourself known, Chris? Chris has got a guest book, and she'd love it if you were to sign it, put your advice, your tips, your comments in for mum and dad and their 70th birthday and also their 45th year of marriage together. So I'd love your thoughts and comments in that. We're going to have a group photo in a sec. And then it's going to be hitting the dance floor for a bit of a playlist of golden oldies that mum and dad have carefully compiled. But before then, I just wanted to pass over to my sister who's going to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. So it's been a good week because my son Jasper, who is 6 and he's going into year 2 at primary school, he had a project that mum and dad have very kindly contributed to, which was a summer project ready for the autumn, and it's going to be discussed at school in the autumn. And this project was all about his grandparents. In fact, Jonathan and Glenys, I need you to contribute as well too. And the premise was basically to ask, what was life like for them when they were 6 in the olden days? And I saw this, you know what it's like, you kind of have your pile of life admin on the side in the kitchen, and I saw this piece of paper and I thought, God, it's going back to school in a couple of weeks, I better get going with this. So I took a photo and emailed mum and dad, and they very, very kindly and dutifully replied back with what life was like for them when they were 6 or around that time. And it was gorgeous. So for example, in fact, can we have a show of hands, please? Who amongst us, when you were 6, supermarkets didn't exist? Show of hands? Oh. So yeah, that was Dad's nugget. Supermarkets didn't exist, and that blew Jasper's mind, completely blew his mind. Supermarkets, no Sainsbury's, no Aldi, so yeah. And Mum also shared that her grandmother had a mangle in her kitchen as well. Yeah, a show of hands please for the mangle. Delicious, right, okay, great, well done. And obviously, there was nothing to blow Jasper's mind with that. He didn't know what a mangle was, so I explained to him, and yeah, he lost interest after a while. I don't think he particularly, it's not his area of interest. But what really took me it jarred a bit actually when I was doing my life admin and I took this photo of this piece of paper and sent it to mum and dad. And the thing that jarred me about it was, it felt like I was going to put them in Beamish as a relic or something like that. And the reason that was weird to me is that I actually don't see mum and dad as grandparent types. I don't know whether this sort of resonates with you guys. Obviously they have been grandparents for 12 years now. Rowan's eldest, Ned, is 12. And they're wonderful, wonderful grandparents, and they embrace that role. But the thing that jarred with me is that mum and dad are so just vivacious and have this massive joie de vivre and are just endlessly on jaunts going to London and round and about to all the most cutting edge exhibitions and and all the amazing restaurants, and they're always reporting back to me about the latest cultural events. And I literally, even though they always are very sweet and ask me lots of things about my life, it's one of my things to do is to ask them about their life, like what have you been up to? Literally, I love it because our lives are sort of fairly restricted with 2 small children. And so my point here is that mum and dad may be 70, but boy, I just feel like they'll go on and on forever just being on the cutting edge of cultural events and living life to the max. And it's lovely as well because I think many of you guys will have experienced that with them and will experience that joy and everything that comes with that. And of course as well, there's an element of having a love for life like that comes through in a love for people, and Rowan and I are so blessed that we have always had this, that we're so grateful and have been so blessed by being so loved by Mum and Dad, and we always know that wherever we go, whatever we do, we can always come back to number 8 and we will be loved. And that of course comes through to our children as well. And they are always part of on their grand tours around the country is to come and look after our children as well. So thank you so much for that. So let's all charge our glasses and make a toast. Have you guys all got drinks? Yeah, you ready? Okay, no mangoes in the room anymore. Okay, Fab, get your glasses ready. Let's make a toast to living and loving to the max, to Liz and Pete. Happy 70th and 45th wedding anniversary. To Liz and Pete.